Hey guys, so this is actually a pretty big piece of information that I think a lot of people probably actually missed. This is tied to this season of Legends Battle Royale. I'm not really a huge fan of this mode. It's interesting, it's different. I think it's pretty cool that they implement different rules and there's different restrictions, and it's more of like a fun thing. To me, I'm just not really a big fan of, number one, the way that you actually queue into the system. I don't think they need to limit it to certain times. And sometimes the restrictions can be a little bit too stringent, especially for people that don't have access to most characters in the game. But they did a long time ago mention that they are sometimes going to be using this mode to test out potential future changes to the game. And this is going to be one of those instances. So let's go ahead and take a look at the post here in the news, and we can go through what exactly they say, and I'll give my thoughts on it, and we'll jump into a few matches to test out the change that they discuss in this post. So Legends Battle Royale is a PvP event where all characters, levels, and classes are equalized, and players fight using special entry tickets distributed daily. So let's see. This is a special Legends Battle Royale that is focused on testing balance adjustments currently being considered for upcoming battle versions. So they are currently considering different changes for upcoming battle system changes, and this is one of the things that they're, I guess, eyeballing to do for a change for the battle system. So this is very much something that we could see implemented in the future for normal PvP, not just Legends Battle Royale. So the actual adjustment that they are considering is key and vanishing gauge will be greatly reduced when moving backwards, regardless of enemy distance. Obviously, that is a massive, massive change. This is actually a change that I have been... Well, it's not exactly the same change that I've been proposing for a long time. You could literally go back to some videos that I've made, like second anniversary, and I'm talking about stuff similar to this. Although it is a bit different the way that I've proposed my change. The way that I would like to do it is, instead of you losing key and vanish when you back up, you would lose key and vanish after not performing an action for a certain amount of timer counts. So let's just say you're in long range, your opponent is in long range, and you haven't performed an action in like 3 timer counts. At that point, you would start to lose key and vanish, not just simply for backing up, but we'll see how this works. Now they say the penalty will not generally be applied when swiping to perform a backwards step, but it may still be applied depending on how quickly various actions are performed. So this is something that we're not really going to be able to get a firm grasp on, at least I won't, until I actually test this out and see exactly what they mean. But sounds like you can still backdash and you won't get penalized for that, but I mean, you never want to... There is not a single instance where you ever want to backdash because it just leaves you exposed. Goal of adjustment. Because moving backwards is low risk, it can buy time for substitution counts to recover, and if used repeatedly, allow players to wait for an opportunity to evade and counterattack. One effect of this is that passive play is encouraged. So we're 6 years into the game, and you just realized this. This adjustment aims to balance the advantage currently given to passive play over actively fighting in battle. Please give it a try for yourself. So if you look at most of the battle system changes that they've made pretty much over the course of the entire game, if you guys were playing way back before, this is like probably pre 1.5 years in, they actually didn't used to have tackles in this game. This game used to not have tackles. Tackles was actually something they added in later. Again, I think it was probably right around the first anniversary, maybe a little bit after the first anniversary is when they first added the tackle system. And that was just, again, to promote more aggressive, proactive play. Then we saw some other adjustments. You got penalized for backfloating in long range. That was mostly for Namek Goku, but they changed that. We saw, obviously, a more recent change after the 4th anniversary was they added the quick attack / quick dash system. So they have made a lot of changes to the battle system in order to promote proactive playstyles instead of passive playstyles. However, I would say that none of them have really worked. I would actually say that the entire quick attack / quick dash system is a complete and utter failure. We've now had over 2 years because, again, the quick dash / quick attack system was implemented into the game right after the 4th anniversary. I remember this because it was UI Goku, and we were like, oh, UI Goku's dead now when they implemented that. It's been 2 years. We've had 2 years to use the quick attack / quick dash system. And I completely think that the entire purpose of the quick attack system, which is to curb proactive play, which is their own words, they pretty much made the same exact statement where it says goal of adjustment right here. This is essentially a copy and paste of what they said for the purpose was for implementing the quick attack system. I would say that it has essentially done nothing to curb passive play. I would even say it's even contributed more to passive play. The existence of the quick attack system in the game has contributed to more passive play than if it did not exist at all. So I think it actually had the reverse effect on the game. I don't think that was a success at all. And honestly, I don't think the system should exist. That's my opinion. I could make a longer video discussing that if people were interested. But for this specific change, this is about curbing passive play. I've talked about this at length. They could do something like this. I'm not, strictly against this. This could be an interesting thing, but I actually do like the fact that they're testing this out in Battle Royale. My only issue with them taking this stance in terms of the way that they're testing this out is Legends Battle Royale is a limited time event, and you can only do it a certain amount of times per period, right? So if I go over to the Legends Battle Royale, actually no, I think it even describes it in the news here, right? If you scroll down more, how to play, you can get 4 entry tickets from the PvP screen daily across the 5 days of the event for a total of 20 tickets. If you are wanting to test the changes, why would you limit our ability to test them? Right? This if they're going to do this, this specific season of Legends Battle Royale should not have limited time entries. This season of Legends Battle Royale, if they really want to get a decent and good sample size of people testing out the changes, they should just have this be an open ladder, essentially. Just have it be normal PvP. Don't have it be ranked or anything like that, so people could not have to worry about losing to test these mechanics out, these changes out. Just have this be unlimited entries. Don't have it be limited to certain times. Just let people queue into the mode and test the changes instead of saying, okay, you can only queue between the hours of 8 and 12, and then you can only queue 4 times a day. Like, that's not an effective way to test this. So I'm not really too much of a fan of the way that they're actually allowing us to test the changes here. But going back to the changes itself, I think a more effective solution to curbing passive play, and I'm telling you, this is the reason. Well, it's not the end-all be-all reason, but I think this is the #1 contributor to passive play style. And if you guys have watched my videos for any period of time, you know what I'm about to say, and it's the existence of Perfect Vanish. Perfect Vanish is the #1 biggest contributor to why at least most good players play passively. A lot of the quote-unquote skill in this game comes from you making plays that basically disallow your opponent to Perfect Vanish you. I think if you take a look at the rankings in PvP, if there was a way we could see analytics for each player, and we could see, like, what is the % chance this person gets PV'd per match, and everybody gets their percentage associated with them, I would guarantee you there is a direct correlation with someone's ranking at the end of a PvP season and what the percentage is of that they get PV'd per match. So the lower percentage chance, the higher the person's probably ranked. I would bet that that is a direct correlation, and the reason why is because that is probably one of the #1 contributing factors as to why someone loses, because it is a guaranteed combo starter. So basically, when we're going into as God ranked players, when we're going into PvP matches, almost the #1 thing we are trying to avoid is getting Perfect Vanished. Everything else basically comes second. At the God level rank, everybody knows what every character does. Everybody's used a million characters and played against every single character a million times. We all know what everyone's kit does. We know how to play against specific matchups and how to maneuver around certain characters' mechanics and abilities. But there's always a consistent effort to avoid being Perfect Vanished, and that results in passive play styles because you have to be extremely cautious. Because PVs, you guys see this in my videos every single time I record because I am always conscious of this. I'll be at long range, and I won't simply just toss a strike cancel. I won't simply just toss a blast card from long range because that's the #1 way you would get PV'd is you just go for a card and your opponent at the same time is vanishing. in a lot of cases, you end up losing a character, or you can simply lose the match from getting PV'd in certain situations. So I always wait for the opponent to sidestep first, and then I click a card, because that ensures that you don't get PV'd and you're able to collect your Dragon Balls off your cards faster. And that's essentially the same mindset that most top players have to avoid getting PV'd. That increases your win percentage, and that's how you rank up. So that, to me, is the #1 contributing factor to why people play passively, not so much the simple ability to back up. I'm not sure limiting the ability to back up in general is the best way to do this, but this is at least an interesting take, I think, on the problem. And we can actually go ahead and test this out and see how this feels to use. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at Legends Battle Royale. I'll just build a team. Maybe I'll just take in the same team that I used for God Rank last season, because I have it handy already built. So we'll go in with that team. I think it was Broly, Omega. Was it Broly, Omega, and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta? I don't remember what it was, but it was Broly and Gogeta and something. So we'll go in with that team, and we'll see exactly how these changes feel. And maybe, maybe they'll be good to implement later on in real PvP. All right, so here we are. This is the team I used last season for God Rank, so we're just going to bring this team in here. The goal is not really just to win. It's just really to see how these changes impact the normal play style. So I'm going to start by floating back, as usual. And we'll see if we just get, like, permanently crippled for doing that, I guess. Or not permanently, but, like, actually crippled for doing this. I brought the wrong character. No, I didn't. No, I'm good. Okay, so this guy's lagging, it looks like. Let's just try and move him back. Okay, oh my god, that is a lot of reduction there. Okay. So I guess moving back right away, what you want to do is you want to actually tackle right away, I think, right? Tackling right away, I mean, the opponent, even if they counter it with a strike, they can't, like, they have no vanish after that. Huh. Alright, let's try and, like, approach and see what happens. Move back. Move back. I'm tackling immediately if he moves back. Move back. Alright. There's our gauge. Yeah, this guy doesn't move back. See if I move. Okay, so I moved back there. I get my gauge up a little bit. It's not really that. Yeah, it's not really that bad, I guess. Moving from mid-range to long range. Like, look at this. It comes back pretty fast. Comes back. Hello? Comes back pretty fast. But I think moving from close range to long range would be really bad. Let's try going from close range to long range this time. See how that goes. By the way, I had to wait a full day before I could record this test run here. I recorded the beginning portion of this video last night, and now it's the morning of the next day. All right, let's try and move back from close range. Yeah, oh my god, you lose your entire gauge. You lose your entire gauge from moving from close to long range. Okay. All right, we'll back up again here, see if he goes for anything. I'm waiting for him to go for a tackle, because if he tackles and then sidesteps and I counter it with a strike, I actually can't. Like, he gets a free combo because of that. That's the biggest change here, I think, easily. All right, go for a tackle. No, this guy doesn't tackle ever. No tackles. Again, no, the main goal here is I'm just trying to test the change. Yeah, look at that. Okay, that was a big... Because normally, obviously, you'd be able to dodge the rush. Okay, that is a big point as well. If you know your opponent's about to rush, you can't back float and get out of it. That I kind of don't like. That I kind of don't like because the opponent shouldn't just be able to get rising rushes for free like that. I don't know if I like that, actually. What do you guys think about that? The fact that even if you know your opponent's going to get a rush, you can't like back out of it and switch before the rush happens. All right, anyway. Interesting. We'll do another one. We will not put this in the video. By the way, I love how, like I said in the beginning of this video, this is going to count as one of my attempts for this day to test this change, and this is the match I get. Do you guys think this is an effective way to test this change? Let me know. All right, so this is the next match. Let's, instead of backing up right away, let's try and tackle. I want to see if my opponent is going to try and move back right away. And if he does, and he counters my tackle, we can get a free combo because he's not going to have Vanish. So we'll try that and see what happens. We'll open with a tackle right away here. Hopefully he backs up, and then if he does, he loses. So, okay. Let's see. Let's start with a tackle here. Okay, he didn't back up. Okay. Alright, well, maybe next match we get a real player, I guess. Again, very hard to test the changes when these are the matches we get. That didn't really... like, literally nothing happened in this match. Like, nothing. You guys think this is a good environment for testing changes in? Yeah, we really got some good data from this match right here. That was pretty good, guys. All right, we got one more match for the day. All right, here is our final match we can do for the day here. We'll start with Golden Frieza here. I'm going to try the same strategy that I wanted to do last time. Hopefully this guy backs up right away. I mean, if you're a good player, I would say 80 to 90% of players at the beginning of fights in the higher ranks end up backing up at the beginning of fights. So, I mean, that's a really good way to test how good this change actually is. Hopefully this guy backs up right away. I'm going to go for a tackle, and then we'll see what happens after that. All right, let's just tackle right away here. Hopefully he backs up. Okay, he doesn't. I'm going to tackle again. Okay, he goes for a strike right away. Yeah, the only way we can really effectively test this is if I'm the one who's backing up. Just because it doesn't look like we're fighting very many good players here, unfortunately. Again, just a terrible environment for testing changes. Doesn't know how to blast cancel. Okay. Change. Yep. All right. Okay, yeah, so I couldn't dodge that. Damn, so you really want to just like go right away sometimes. I don't know, this feels like it's going to end up as being more of a coin flip because let's say this guy... Let's say this guy enters the battlefield and immediately goes for a blast. if I decided to just sidestep instead of back up, it would have been a PV, right? So I mean, this change seems like it's going to end up being more of like a coin flip. Or it's going to result in matches being more coin flippy than usual, I guess is the best way I could word it. Because the entire reason why backing up is so powerful is because it reduces the amount of RNG in fights. So if you can't do that anymore, it's going to make things a lot more just luck based in terms of what is your opponent going to do, what are you going to do? Because it reduces your movement options. That's fine. All right. Yeah, this guy's not backing up at all. No one's back. I mean, I guess it could be just a product of people not wanting to even test the changes. I don't know. Like, they saw that's like, oh, we lose Vanish and Key for backing up. I'm just not going to back up now. I guess that might be why, but... Yeah, see, this guy's just going right. Like, again, terrible environment to test these changes out. I feel like we didn't really even get to test these that often. I mean, we saw it from my end, which is why I'm even doing this. Like, I don't know, man. We don't get to test the changes, I guess. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Let's just jump this guy and end this. He left. He actually just left. Okay. Yeah. And the bot is not gonna be doing things, so. Okay, I mean, at least we saw a little bit of what the changes are going to look like, right? Oh, Vanish there. So, I don't know. It seems like this change... Because there's really two, I guess... I'm trying to think about this. There's two... I guess, sections of passive play. The first section is actually just like backing up in general, which is I think what this change obviously is more focused around targeting. And then there is the fact of you actually being at long range, and I don't think this change is going to affect that. So once you're able to get to long range, this change is not going to change people's play styles once they're actually able to be at long range. Once you get to long range, like, PVs are still the #1 issue for sure. And it's not even just at long range too. PVs are still the #1 issue at all times, even in close range. Like, you're always waiting for your opponent to do something before you attack so you don't get PV'd. I don't know, because there's a lot of side effects of this change not being so great. And we actually got to see one of these in this video, which was the fact that I knew the opponent was going to Rising Rush. And I backed up and in anticipation of him doing a Rising Rush, and I literally couldn't dodge it. So I don't know. I think if you're able to read things like that, that sort of displays your skill level, I guess. I mean, knowing your opponent is going to Rising Rush and then anticipation of that backing up and dodging it, to me, that is a form of skill in this game. And to remove that, I think doesn't really make a lot of sense. I understand where they're coming from with this change. I just don't really think I agree with the actual execution of the adjustment itself. So I would like to see a change with Perfect Vanishes instead. I think when it comes to Perfect Vanishes, it's not really going to be just so much as, oh, just go ahead and delete Perfect Vanishes from the game. I think they probably, if it was up to me, I probably would delete Perfect Vanishes from the game, but you would have to think of other things to implement at the same time, because I think it's going to affect the game too much just to simply remove that one thing and not make any other further adjustments. So I think maybe at this point, Perfect Vanishes are too much of a fundamental point, an aspect of the game, to where they don't want to even like make changes to it. I don't know. But this is an interesting take on a change to curb passiveness in this game. But I think there are probably going to be too many side effects to where this is not an effective way for the game to just remain fun. We'll see, though. I don't know. I don't think this is not going to be a change that promotes as little skill level as there is in this game. I don't think this is going to be a change that promotes a higher skill cap, and I think it's actually going to lower the skill cap even more than it already is. So let me know what you guys think of this change. Greatly reduces key and vanish engage when moving backwards. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.